2023. New episode of Behind the Bricks takes us beneath the museum to a spot that has long held some of the track's most precious secrets. Jason Van Sickle knows all about those secrets. He's the Vice President of Curation and Education at the Speedway Museum. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
All right, so the podcast this week is a cool one because it takes us to some place that at this moment no one can go any longer, the basement. How did this come together?
Yeah, you know, as we ramp up for our construction phase and reimagining the museum, we wanted to give people the opportunity, if they haven't had a chance to go through the basement, to see, and no better tour guide than Doug and Carl.
Yeah, his eyes light up, Doug Bowles does, as he goes down there and he sort of sheds the president's role and picks up the role of race fan and car fanatic, and great tour guide down there in Carl as well. It is interesting. Give us kind of the history of this. There was a time when virtually no one could go in the basement. Then we've had a few years where, for the right price, you could.
Yeah, you know, we are moving to be more kind of public-facing with our collection. So the basement has gone from that completely off limits outside dignitaries and other VIPs. But then this opportunity to showcase our collection, and I think you'll see that with the renovated museum and the offsite restoration location that's part of this overall plan.
So the end of the podcast gives a glimpse to that future. It's too simple to say the basement will be open, but clearly part of the basement will be open to the floors above.
Yeah, as part of our $89 million renovation campaign, we have this offsite restoration location that will be public facing, but the whole museum itself will be completely reimagined with new interactive and hands-on learning experiences, and really a way to tell the stories of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Will there be a part that will sort of fill that old basement role where there'll be, you know, like behind a vault somewhere? You have to have storage somewhere.
Yeah, we do have non-car collection down there that will stay when we move back in, but you know, the basement will become public area, part of your ticket of the new museum, so we're really looking forward to that.
All right, we've reported before, but let's go through the dates again. I hate it that it's my birthday that you shut down for the final time.
Yeah, so we're open for another 3 weeks to the public. Get a chance to see kind of the last look of the IMS Museum, but November 5th is our last public open day, so make sure you check it out.
I was talking with one of your colleagues about how this podcast opens and closes. It starts with the priciest car, probably the most expensive car in the Midwest, in that great Formula One Mercedes, and then it ends with, by dollar amount, the cheapest car in the entire building, and which one has more value. As a curator, do you go down there and see, yeah, this one's my favorite, or do you stay neutral?
Well, I mean, I have my favorite cars, and I like the early days of the track, so Carl Fisher's 1905 Premier is my favorite personally, but you know, with having 200 vehicles in the collection and Larry's van, just the stories, and for a lot of race fans, seeing that in person, in the infield, in his 35 consecutive years of being first in line, you know, that is a special piece amongst itself.
All right, let's get a little preview of the podcast.
These cars are way ahead of its time. I believe there's 8 of these exist in the world. Estimates have been close to $80 million if this would go to auction.
It's such a beautiful car, the lines of that. And speaking of beautiful, I mean, kind of right here behind us, this Ferrari, which was the last Ferrari to win Le Mans outright until this year when they did it in 2023, but 60 years almost that this was the last car to win outright. Another amazing race car.
It's a 1964 250 LM. Jochen Rindt was a driver. He also raced here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, so there's a tie there also. This is probably our second valuable car in the collection.
Yeah, what's $100 million worth of car, you know, between friends down there in the basement of the Speedway Museum. Best of luck, and not just this podcast and help people sort of finally take that basement tour if they never did, but the months and years ahead. This is going to be an interesting transformation.
Yeah, we're going through the capital campaign and fundraising right now, and we're happy to say we're over 50%, but obviously the support of our guests, our fans, race fans across the world will help us reach our goal.